Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, please email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a modern classic launched in 2006. This is the Patek Philippe 5396G-011 annual calendar. Back in 1996, Patek Philippe created the first annual calendar wristwatch. The first annual calendar of any kind, a watch that need be reset only once per year annually during the jump from February to March. Now this model right here features a combination of aperture calendar, 24-hour dial, and a moon phase that itself only needs to be set once every 122 years. In white gold, really gray gold, more on that in a moment, the watch is 38.5 millimeters in diameter, 11.3 millimeters thick, 46.9 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, and 21 millimeters is the spacing between the lugs. Now on my wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference. It wears well. It's a good size. I'd even recommend it for ladies because after all, with a lug to lug span of under 47 millimeters, it is quite short across the wrist, and as you can see in this cuff shot, easily slides underneath a tight sleeve. Taking a quick look down the barrel, you can see those legs are really nowhere near the edge of my wrist. And then you can see that as well from over the top, and I'm actually squeezing the strap pretty tightly to hold it fast on my wrist. The strap itself is high grade, large rectangular scale alligator leather with big symmetrical scales, which indicates an expensive cut of the material. You can see it's a gloss finish, black, monotone stitch. It's got a folded edge, calfskin on the bottom, not crimped, not gouged, a brand new Patek Philippe factory strap. Features Patek's pull tab spring bars, so you can quickly and easily pop the strap off with just your fingernails. Calatrava cross externally, single fold, deployant clasp in white gold, friction fit with a snapshot action to protect you against dropping your watch by accident. Calatrava style case with blended integrated lugs that come to a little bit of a teardrop undertuck. You can see the lugs themselves are quite thin when viewed end on, but sheer when viewed in profile. The case is all of high polish, cylindrical, and includes a Patek Philippe Calatrava cross symbol on the crown. We have pusher adjusters for correcting the calendar. The bezel has two primary facets. One is vertical, and then there's a shallow conical plane leading up to the boxed and cambered sapphire. The dial is silver opaline, or a matte white, sort of very lightly grained finish, not directional like a sunburst. It glows softly. You can see there are metallized dimples outboard for reading seconds and minutes at center. We have polished and fluted Dauphine style hands. We have faceted and polished dart-style indices for the hours, hands and indices in gold to resist oxidation or tarnish over time. Note the use of little steps down to the day, date, and month discs. You can see that step rather than a sheer cut through the dial makes it appear a little bit more gradual and more graceful. We have a coaxial indicator that gives you a 24-hour scale and a moon phase. Now, the 24-hour scale will make it a little bit more intuitive here. So if I'm wondering whether this is 10 p.m. or 10 a.m., I know, because the hand is pointed at 22. So generally, during the hours between 8 o'clock and 2 a.m., you don't want to use these pusher adjusters to correct the calendar. In fact, I always just tell people, never adjust the calendar if the watch is indicating 8 to 4 a.m., 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Outside of that range, you can use the pusher adjusters. Inside of that range, if you want to adjust the date, use the crown to advance. Of course, annual calendar complication, you can see that there's also texturing within the well for the 24-hour subdial. Flip it all over. We have a version of the long-running and reliable and very accurate Patek Philippe automatic caliber 324. It is a unidirectional winder with ceramic bearings, those two features making in tandem for very high efficiency. 45-hour power reserve, 4 Hz beat rate, 6-position adjusted. And when you combine the Patek Philippe seal, 6-position adjustment, the free-sprung Gyromax style balance, and the anti-magnetic Spiromax hairspring, the watch comes from the factory with an assurance that it will run no worse than -3 plus 2 seconds per 24 hours. It has the moon phase, the 24-hour function, the annual calendar. It pivots on 34 jewels, and it's 30 meters water resistant. You can also see it's nicely decorated. Combination of manual and mechanical finishing, but compared to something like JLC, Audemars Piguet, Glasuta Original, or even F. Peugeot jour. There's a lot more obvious hand execution here, where I could say that parts might have been cut using electrospark erosion or CNC, or a bevel might have been started with a milling tool, but a lot of the final execution is done manually to create a much more artisanal aesthetic. We have engine turning on the reduction wheel. We have engine turning on the center of the rotor. We have engine turning on the base plate. We have beautiful mirrored broad bevels on the bridges. We have a abrasive wheel laid as opposed to stamped set of Côte de Genève stripes. Satination on the wheels. Black polished screw heads with chamfered slots and circumference. And if you look particularly on the balance cock, you can see the locating pins that help to locate the bridge on the base plate. Those have been mirror polished on their tops as well. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Patek Philippe annual calendar. And by the way, I mentioned gray gold earlier. Gray gold is a type of white gold that is 18 karat, never needs to be plated, and is the same color all the way through. JLC, Patek, Rolex, Grubel, they're the ones who use the good stuff.